All right. Any additional questions for me? Again, it's not like news or nothing like that.
Right. Well,
Nervous?
sure.
Okay.
I don't know. Well, the thing is, it's like my area of like my function right now. It's a lot different from when I was working with the patients. I'm just in the grow.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just with the plants.
Okay. I think there's also individuals, because everybody's part plays clearly a part in being able for us to be able to get the final product. And if you're mainly working for the plants, I think that's also interesting too, because you guys have to be able to know when to pick it, when to be able to do the process that you guys do, and then kind of pass it off to there. So I think there's a lot of knowledgeable information there that I would like people to know about specifically, because I don't want them to think like they're in a field and there's pesticides. I think that process is very interesting, and I think for them to be able to understand that it's in a controlled environment, it might make them feel a little bit more safe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I can talk about that a little.
Everybody, welcome back to Dell's Den. We are here with a special individual who used to deliver my medication from GoodBlend. Now, I want y'all to be able to take the time, be able to share, listen to this story, because he's been with the company for a very long time. He's been with the company when he first started delivering for customers, and now he's in cultivation. So it's a completely different switch. However, we get to catch up with him and see what he's been up to, and I'm super excited for you guys to be able to meet him. So again, we're going to get him introduced. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Don't forget to check out the Instagram, and don't forget to go check out the Discord as well. Of course, don't forget to follow here at YouTube. Follow, share, like, subscribe. If you comment, that's going to tell me that you're liking that you're liking the content. Clearly the views are there, but I need feedback. So, if you guys have any type of feedback, you guys want to be able to see something in the future, let me know. Peace.
The thing is, we don't sell flour to the general public in Texas, but we grow it as if we were selling it to the general public. So it's clean.
Right.
And we also do a pretty good flush, which a lot of people who are very into like cannabis flower understand. It's better to encourage it to senesce, meaning it is naturally aging and heading towards death on its own, like before harvest. So like what you mentioned, you have to know what to look for with the plant to know when it's finishing. So when it senesces, are getting more of the colors out of it, and the flavor develops, and also the terpenes start converting, and some of the cannabinoids go from THCA to THC, CBDA to CBD, from THC to CBN, and these things. So it has this complexity to the flower that you don't get if you just chop it early, like a lot of these people who are selling THCA flower, because they legally have to harvest it early. It's unfortunate because a lot of people think it's the same thing. They buy THCA flower at the head shop and they think, oh yeah, I'm getting, it's the same
THC,
thing.
it's still the same, but it's not.
It's not. It's not the same.
That's a lot of great information, but we didn't even get to introduce you.
Oh.
No, go for it. No, introduce yourself, and then you can go back
Richard.
into it.
I help grow the plants with GoodBlend. I actually, for 3.5 years, I was the original driver. I've met a lot of patients.
Many moons ago.
This was a while ago. It was a way to get my foot in the door. I really just wanted to work with the plants because I love the plant. Like, I would say, as far as like my dose, THC, it's very low. Like, I take a very low dose, and that's what helps me. But I love the plant. Like, I could be around the plant all day and think I'm not working. There's just something about being with the plant.
Have you always wanted to work with THC?
Yeah. I mean, for, I would say, a couple decades.
Wow.
I mean, actually, when I'm 44 now, when I was 14 years old, I was asking my parents if I could grow cannabis in the backyard. And that was to save money. And they said no, because it's illegal, which,
Right,
you know,
right,
is smart on their part, I'd say.
Out of those 30 years, you clearly were able to do that. You know, that's exactly what
That's
you're
what I'm
doing
doing
now. How does that feel?
It's pretty great to have a job in something that I want to do, and I've been wanting to do for years. It's surreal. It really is. I mean,
now clearly you're in the back, you're growing. As I had mentioned before, we get the final product. You
Yep.
know, so I always mention that people who are actually doing the legwork, when to pull, when to look at the product, and when to be able to say, hey, it's time to start producing. Like, that takes an eye, doesn't it? Does it take an eye? Like, what's that process of understanding that?
It does, and you know, Dylan, our manager, he has gone to university for botany and studied plants like in a classroom setting, and has worked at nurseries and understands plants in a very wide spectrum. He's like our expert. What we do, how we observe the plant, is actually based on multiple cycles of running the same plant. Like literally taking cuttings from one plant and keeping that one plant with the same DNA.
Wow.
Going for multiple cycles. There's a certain point when you know what's going to happen with that plant next week because of your observation over a year of watching this plant grow throughout what takes like 90 days or longer than that, including the cuttings and whatnot, but it's approximately 90 days.
Now, clearly we have, you know, when it comes to the products, right, you have like strictly, and I think this is what makes it GoodBlend significantly different, is that you have indica and sativa gummies. Why do you feel like people should be able to have both instead of just a hybrid?
The effects of indica versus sativa, you know, and the evolution of how we call the plant has been interesting over the years. Indica generally is related to the broad leaflet plant. The sativa is generally related to the narrow leaf varieties. Some people call them tropical varieties versus northern latitude, those kind of things. Like, and you look at where these plants originally came from and how they evolved. And I was explaining to one of my coworkers, and this is why plants make sense. You know, you can explain cannabis, and cannabis relates to a lot of plant species. Is that indica are the wide leaf varieties. And they need to capture a lot of sun because generally they are further away from the equator. So the leaves are bigger in order to pull in the nutrition of the sun because the days are shorter. The narrow leaf varieties of the sativa plant, they need more air conditioning because they grow nearer the equator. It's a hotter environment. They need to allow more airflow and capture less sun. Basically trying to get the same amount of light during the day, whether it's indica or sativa, whether it's grown in, you know, more north of the equator or more south of the equator or on the equator. And so these plants have developed over time, and you think of like if you're closer to the equator, the days are longer. So if you're using it as medicine, you're probably going to want to have a more stimulating effect. Right? So the plants that are grown along the equator have the more stimulating effect. The plants that are grown further away from the equator, the days are shorter. You're probably going to want to be a little more relaxed after the sun goes down. You get more sleep because you're not getting as much energy from the sun because the sun's further away. So you're going to get your energy more from having a restful night's sleep. Those plants' effect is going to be more relaxing. Anyway, all that said, it's also based on the terpene profiles of the different plants. So we add terpenes into the gummies in order to create that sativa effect or the indica effect. So the sativa is going to be more stimulating, generally used during the day. Indica, generally used during the night, but not necessarily. Everyone has their own individual chemistries. Sometimes indica works better for some people who are just high anxiety all day and they need something to just bring them down. So the indica, which is going to be generally like a lot of linalool, which is the terpene that's abundant in lavender. Myrcene, which I've heard also described as like a catalyst for the other terpenes, but myrcene is generally considered to be relaxing. Myrcene is also found in mangoes.
Mangoes?
Mangoes, which is why a lot of cannabis varieties can smell like mangoes because of the high myrcene content. And then you have the pinene and limonene, which pinene, pine trees, limonene would be in citrus fruits. Those are generally more stimulating. This is always an interesting thing I found was about like why do they make Pledge, like lemon Pledge or other cleaners with a lemon scent. They actually do use limonene in a lot of cleansers.
Do they?
Because it's stimulating. So if you feel worn out from cleaning, are you going to want to buy that product again?
Now, being able to see your plants, your babies, right, that you end up working on every single day, making sure that they're good to go and that they're healthy, being able to see so many products being produced from it, how does that feel? Your work.
Well,
it's your art in a specific type of way.
You're part of a fully functioning operation. You know, I have a lot of respect for the Jake who extracts the oil, and he makes such this pure golden oil. Eric and his team, how they put it all together into these beautiful candies that taste great. I mean, I call them candies because they taste like
They're basically candies.
These beautiful medicines that taste great and have a great effect. And, we're the foundation of it, which is really, it's great to be a part of, and I really like being a part of that. But also, as a feedback loop, I've had a lot of experience with patients. And I've gotten their feedback, so I feel like I can take that experience and know how much it's helping into the foundation of the medicine. Just there's a lot of satisfaction, I'd say, to answer your question. It's really, I don't know, man, like I want to be able to say, like, from a, we were kind of talking about, like, you're on the back end, you weren't quite too sure, discussing certain things, like, what can I talk about, that type of thing. I wanted to be able to, it had me thinking. I've been kind of holding it back because in some type of way, I'm meeting the individual or a individual who helps me on an everyday basis. I mean, I kid you not. Like, this is, in a way, such an honor for me because, again, I've been on y'all's THC since PTSD, right? And you guys have created something that has changed me. Like, I'm not, like, I'm all turtled out right now, but I wouldn't be turtled out without you guys. Like, you guys brought this out of me. And I haven't been, this is the happiest I've ever been. This has been the most relaxed I've ever been. Usually whenever life hits me, I'm kind of panicking, like, how we generally do as humans do if something bad were to happen. But being on the medication, it helps me take one thing at a time. You are really the individual, and with a couple of others, who create this product, and then they put it into the gummies, the tinctures, the balms, like all that good stuff, and it gets to me. So I want to thank you for being able to take that time to be able to create what you create on a daily. It's great, man. Do you give yourself enough credit, man? No, probably not.
Give yourself enough credit. Like, seriously, you are changing lives, bro. Changing fucking lives. I don't know if you noticed that, but I see it. My family's approved. My friends are approved. And that's all by your hand. So I want to thank you one more time, man. Again, thank you for coming on. You're always more than welcome to be able to come back and talk more about it. There's plenty of information to go out there, and I think I'm hoping that we were able to reach somebody today to help better understand this is more of a controlled environment. You don't have to worry about your plants being outside. You guys are taking care of
Oh
that.
yeah.
It's
and
great.
They're very healthy. They're, like I said, we grow them. No pesticides.
They wave at each other every single morning.
Yeah, we all say hi to the ladies every morning.
There you go. There you go. Well, again, we are here at GoodBlend in Stone Oak as their grand opening. One more time, thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
don't forget to check out all the additional social media down below. Don't forget to go check out GoodBlend, as they will hopefully be coming back on Instagram pretty soon. But if not, go check out the website at goodblend.com. You guys have a great day.